So hello, everybody. It's Ron Ruth with ronruth.com and the founder of the Imaginativity Institute. And today, I'm so happy to have as my very special guest someone I met. Believe it or not, we connected through Twitter, and it's amazing. And the reason we connected is because he wrote this wonderful book called More Word-of-Mouth Referrals, Lifelong Customers and Raving Fans. And his name is Matt Ward. Matt, how are you, man?
I'm awesome, Ron. How are you? Thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, man. I love the way you held the book up. I have my book on Kindle, and it doesn't show up nearly as well as yours. Yeah. So I'm glad you had your book handy. So so first off, you live.
I got a few hundred of them because no one's buying them these days.
I bought one. I even reached out to you and said I bought your book.
Yes, you did.
So first off, just quick, I know that you live on the East Coast. You live in Boston, is that right?
Yep. I live just west of Boston in Massachusetts. Yep.
And you're a lifelong Pats fan, which
it's a tough life to live these days.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping to convert you to maybe becoming a Chiefs fan, but we'll have to wait till after.
Why would I do that? I will tell you, I had a very good friend make me a bet. And he lost, clearly. and he sent me a box of bacon from Kansas City. You guys have the best bacon ever.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so good.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't send you barbecue, though, because we're more famous for our barbecue.
Yeah, well, it was frozen. I mean, it was one of those frozen, almost like Omaha Steaks, but a different company.
Yeah.
And pretty good package to win, though. I wasn't complaining.
I would challenge you. Tell me any bad bacon. I mean, right. I just can't imagine bad bacon. I mean, there's no way that can happen. So Matt, tell me a little bit about why did you write this book? Why was it important for you to write this book?
Because I think that as salespeople and business owners, we've gotten away from what sales really is. It's relationships. Right. And we moved into this world of I pitch you, you pitch me, everything's so slimy and sleazy, and it's what I want out of the relationship. And I just got tired of that. As I looked at how I ran my website agency for 16 years, which I sold in 2018, I hated cold calls. I didn't mind the phone. I just hated rejection. I hated that type of thing. And so I found a model that worked for me, which was relationship building. And that relationship building meant that I got deep satisfaction out of the relationships I built with people. I get to learn about people. That's what drives me. That's what wakes me up in the morning. And I was sitting with a friend one day, and I was thinking about a new speech to write because I'm a professional speaker now. And I was thinking, what can I talk about? And she said, well, tell me about your past. And I was telling her about the website agency. And I mentioned to her that I had not garnered a single new client in the last 4 years that did not come from word-of-mouth referrals. And her eyes just got really wide.
Yeah.
And she looked at me in a perplexed kind of way. And she said, how did you do that? Because that's what everybody wants to know. And I said, well, I don't know. I just did this, this, and this. She's like, that's the speech you need to do. I said, that's interesting. I said, you don't think people care about other people? She says, no, we do. We just forgot how to do it. And we don't do it enough. And I think that when she said that, I went, aha, that's the issue. It's not that we don't care. It's that we've gotten away from caring enough and from the real true meaning of caring. And that is what I now travel the country telling everybody about, that if you care about other people, you get more referrals in your business. It's a massive shift change in mindset, but it's very easy to do.
Absolutely. You know? And that's one of the reasons why your book spoke to me, because I speak on customer experience and making connections with customers. Yours is more about making connections with contacts, people that you're also going to be working with, that's going to help with those customers. And in the DJ universe, I mean, we're not just working with a bride and a groom. We're also working with a venue manager, a photographer, a caterer, florist, all of these people, cake maker, all of these people play into the contacts that you want to work with, so that you can that you want to show appreciation for, so that you can also get word of mouth referrals from them as well. Is that pretty much?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think when we think about referrals, a lot of times business owners think about getting customers to refer us, but you know how painful that is? I mean, they have so many other things to do. The
Right.
reality is that they're not sitting there waiting to refer you. That's not how this works. And so if you dissect referrals in and of themselves, you'll start to really understand that referrals sometimes are coming from customers, but more often they're coming from referral partners, people
Right.
that you identify that you can do business with on a regular and consistent basis.
Right.
And those people I consider to be contacts, because they may not and most likely don't buy your service.
Right.
Right. So when we think about a limo company who maybe they were the first company approached in the process of a wedding, for example, they then have the ability and the power to refer everybody in their network to this customer.
Right.
And so when you start tracking your referrals, your sources of where clients come from, you're going to see a theme pop up. And those are the people and the industries that you want to start focusing on building mutually beneficial relationships with, so that you can refer them, they can refer you, and you will start to get more referrals than you can possibly handle when you do that.
Right, absolutely. Well, and those people are going to have those other members of the wedding team, as I refer to them, are going to have more contact with potential customers than a former or a past bride and groom are going to have. Obviously, they're going to have their friends, but a limo driver, or as you used as your example, they're going to actually come in contact with far more people that are going
to. And when you think about it from a DJ standpoint, Ron, I mean, if you do a wedding for somebody, they might still be married in 40 years and have you do their DJing again, if you're still around doing DJing. But that's not really how this works. Like, I mean, if somebody, you might get a retirement party, you might get their kids' weddings, you might get those things, but you can't hang your hat on that for everyday business. The time between bookings for those types of referrals is very low. Now, if you're in the world of weddings and you're in the world of 25 to 35-year-olds getting married, you might get referrals because the people that come to the wedding hear you DJ and they like what you're doing, so they might call you when they get married. That's great. But you don't have to, you just have to do your job there. What my book is about building deeper, more meaningful, and intentional relationships with people that consistently refer you when they're called or asked for referrals for DJs. That's what it's all about.
Well, and let's kind of dive into that. Let's get into the book a little bit more. First off, I want to start with one of the things that connected you and I in the beginning was you wrote, I think it was a tweet about how somebody had contacted you through LinkedIn, and rather than trying to develop a relationship with you, find out anything about you, they immediately went to the "I want to sell you something" dialogue. So
I wrote a blog about this, and the viewers and the listeners can check it out if they go to my website, which is breakthrough-champion.com/blog, and you look for the blog titled "Are You Selling or Connecting on LinkedIn?" That's the name of it.
Right.
And this guy, John, had connected with me, and I replied to him, "Thanks for the connection. Tell me what you're all about." And he immediately replied, and I'm going to read it verbatim. "Hi, Matt. I would love an opportunity to speak to you about a business opportunity at your earliest convenience." Now, first of all, Ron, I have no idea why he thinks I'm interested in a business opportunity. That's very skeptical. Then he says, "My company," which I've removed, "creates platforms for professional speakers, coaches, and trainers to scale their business. If you want to hear more, please reply. John." I reply, "No thanks. Was that your purpose for connecting?" And he replies, "We offer a technology solution to people yourself that can be a source of ongoing revenue. If you want to at least see a one-page summary of what we offer, let me know. And I reply, I can't possibly do business with anyone that avoids direct questions. It's unethical in my book. Thanks for thinking of me. Best of luck. And he replies, have you ever heard of network marketing? LOL. He actually said LOL. Why is this unethical since we offer a legitimate service that can help people achieve their goals? What do you do that helps people? He says. Now, mind you, when you ask that, what do you do that helps people? He has no idea who I am, what I do, what I offer. He has no concept. He goes, how do you reach your prospective audiences? So then I gladly answered his question. I said, dude, really? You have no idea what my intellectual property is. It's word of mouth referrals. With just a little bit of research on my profile, you could have known that before attempting to connect to me and sell me something. I might actually want your product, but will never buy if all you're interested in is a sale and not a relationship. P.S. This is far from network marketing. Just because you connect with someone on LinkedIn does not mean they are in your network. You need to earn that right. And that's my issue. That's my issue with sales as a whole.
Right.
Just because I own a phone or set up a shingle doesn't mean I want your product or I'm a perfect opportunity. And I get it. Some businesses just believe in cold call. But if you do enough research about who you're talking to, you'll realize that not everybody's about that. You need to know who your prospects are. If you're gonna cold call, Ron, you need to know that they have an ability to hire you as a DJ, and they have a need, like they have a Christmas party coming up, or they're getting, like, you wouldn't even cold call a wedding. How would you cold call a wedding person? Is that even a thing, Ron?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Where do you get the numbers from?
Usually from lists that come from like bridal shows or.
Okay, but wait, that's not a cold call, right? Because they came to the bridal show.
Well, they may have come to the bridal show, but that doesn't mean that they stopped by your booth.
Agreed. But could you imagine for a minute that somebody called my house and said, hey, I'm a DJ. You getting married? Like, that doesn't we don't, that's not how this works.
It's like,
remember that commercial where the old ladies were standing on the wall and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna defriend you and take you off my wall. And the lady goes, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
This is not how you build relationships and make sales. This is not how you build a sustainable. This is why businesses, I'm sorry, I'm getting all amped up now. This is why you're out of business within 5 years, Ron. Because they don't care about other people. They care only about themselves. And when you show that, you're going out of business.
Well, and I think it's what I see in the DJ world, and to be honest with you, back in my younger days, and I love earlier you said, I don't know how much longer you're going to be DJing. I appreciate that. But back in my younger days, I used to make this mistake, and I know DJs make it today. They do an event at a venue, and the first thing they want to do is turn around and go to the venue manager and say, how can I get on your referral list? How do I, can I get on your, or maybe even just say, can I get on your referral list? Rather than investing the time and actually getting to know anything about the person that's running that venue. One of the things you say in your book, and I say this even in my presentations, it's the premise of your book. You write in the first sentence, it's well known that people do business with those they know, they like, and they trust. That's true across all industries. I mean, it doesn't matter. People, as humans, we gravitate towards other humans who care about us. That's the way it works.
Well, and I even take that a step further now, and I actually have modified that to say that not only do that we've heard that, but I believe that people do business with who they know, like, trust, and care about.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because here's the thing about caring, Ron. It's not that we care about each other in a loving kind of way. What happens when you show interest in other people is they care about you enough that they don't want your business to fail.
Right.
Because you're showing care for them, and you're the only one doing it. This is the thing. This is why people do marketing and advertising. Any marketer will tell you, who's worth their salt, that the reason you spend money on marketing and advertising is to be top of mind when people are ready to buy.
Exactly.
If you want to be top of mind, show up, care about people, stay in touch. I wrote in the book, the number one rule is stay in touch. People are busy.
Right.
Just stay in touch. I stay in touch through video email marketing, right? If you want to get in touch and build a relationship with a venue contact, what my suggestion would be, I'll give you a real tactical plan right here. So get a pen out and write this down. You do an event and you get the name. The first thing you do when you leave is you send a video email thanking the venue contact for the time and effort that they put into that work, even though you paid them to be there, because no one else is going to do that. Now, you can do that through this website, Get Video Email Now. That is an affiliate link that I have for a piece of software that you can use. You get a 14-day free trial. And it's very simple. You can do it from your phone. You hold up a little whiteboard, you put their name on it, and you say, thank you for what you invested. You ask for nothing. That's step one. Step two, which is day two, you send them a handwritten card. You see, the video email gets there immediately. The handwritten card takes 3 days in the mail. So now you've just done 2 contacts within 4 days that no one else at that venue has done as a exhibitor, a vendor. That's the first 2 things you do. And then a week later, you call them on the phone and you say, hi, Jane Doe, it's Matt. I really enjoyed my time at the event. How was it for you? Was the event a success? And ask them questions about the event. Don't ask for anything else. When you hang up the phone, call it a day. And then show up next month somehow. A Facebook message, a Facebook comment on the venue, a simple email, another video email. Show up over the course of 6 months. And you might be thinking to yourself, 6 months? Listen, these venues do these things once or twice a year. Like, don't you want to be the person that when you book the next booth at this vendor fair, that they come by your booth 6 or 8 times in the day when they're not stopping by anybody else's booth? Now that's a relationship. You will never have to ask to be placed on that list.
Right.
You will be added to the list. They will walk up and say, Ron, hey, I just want to let you know, thanks for being in touch so much. Thanks for coming again. Oh, by the way, I added you to the list. You don't even have to ask.
Absolutely.
Because when you ask, you're begging, Ron. You're begging, please, 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 I need the business. I need the business. Don't do that. Show up. Give, give, give. And then they'll give back.
I want to touch on one thing that you mentioned a moment ago, and you talked about the thank you card. One thing I would caution, and I think you do in your book as well, do not put your business card in the thank you card.
You know what that does, Ron?
It turns it into a marketing piece.
It takes it, yeah, it turns it into a marketing piece, but it takes it from about them to about you.
Right. Exactly.
There is a place for marketing and advertising in business. I have no problem with that. You have to do that until you get to the point where you're 100% referrals like I was in my web business. But until you do that, I don't want you to confuse marketing and advertising with caring. So when I take my book and give it to people free of charge, that's not caring. I'm not saying, here, Ron, here's a copy of my free book. I care about you. No, that's marketing and advertising. Yeah. Now, if Ron buys my book and gives it to John Doe down the street and says, hey, I read a good book. You should take a look at this. I bought you a copy. That's caring because it's not self-serving for you. You bought something else from someone else to give to someone else.
Well, and it's funny. I have people that send me. I've got a couple of friends of mine. A friend of mine that knows I'm big, and I love speaking on the topic of creativity as well as customer experience. And so he sends me. I get books from him all the time on the topic of creativity. I got another book from another friend of mine on starting up on startup businesses. And then so it's funny. The other day I was talking to a new contact of mine. And we were talking, I told him that I like talking about creativity and customer experience, and he took off on how much he loves talking about creativity of himself. Anyway, when I got back to the office, referring to your book, and I'm not kidding, that and plus knowing I was getting these, I sent him an Amazon gift card to go buy a book that we talked about during our conversation. I probably could have sent it to him, sent him.
No, you know how to, that's awesome, but you know how to up-level that?
How?
You buy the book on Amazon, send it to yourself, and then you write in the front cover and mail it to him.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, see, I hadn't gotten that far in your book yet.
Right. That's in the book. But here's the thing. Here's what I want people to know. If you're watching this right now, what do you know about Ron? Right? It's about listening with your ears and your eyes. Okay? There's a couple things I want to tell you right off the bat, and many of you probably already know this, but it's important to pay attention to. Look at the lamp behind Ron. It's Disney ears. Look at the shelf behind Ron. It's Minnie Mouse. If you know anything about Ron, you know that he speaks about customer loyalty, customer experience in the Disney way a lot of times, the imagination stuff. And it's all Disney. He's a big Disney guy. Like when you interact with Ron, you find ways to care about Ron that are Disney related. So if you send Ron a card, you're going to draw little Minnie Mouse ears. How hard is that to draw Minnie Mouse ears in a card that you send to Ron? But what is Ron's feeling when he opens that? And just that little extra touch matters. If you're dealing with somebody who went to the Ohio State, then you maybe draw their little logo in there, right? There's all kinds of little things that you can do that shows people that you're paying attention to them. And that's what matters most. Now, the fact that you were paying attention to this guy in the conversation you talked about, and then you sent him the Amazon gift card. Hey, by the way, what we talked about, I was listening to what we talked about. I'm now gifting this to you. That's a step in the right direction. And I will tell you, that is 90% more than what anybody else is doing.
Well, and I wanted him to be able to, if he wanted to buy it as a Kindle, because not everybody buys books anymore. So if he wanted it as a Kindle, or maybe saw another book that he would have enjoyed more. It really didn't. The point is that we talked about this book. If it's something you'd like to research here, if not, find a book that would be of greater interest. So,
and I think it's important to understand that you got to pick your battles, right? I'm a big believer that with digital tools, look, we're using a digital tool now to record this. We're using audio, video. Technology is amazing. But when we stick to technology, we don't break through the noise.
Right.
That's why a card works so well now. Old is the new. That's why hard books work so well now, is because they sit on the coffee table until somebody actually reads them. Whereas in a digital format, they end up in the digital file, right? In the device that we forget to use. I was listening to an audiobook on a plane out to Vegas and back recently on a speaking trip, and just decided mid-book to shut it off and listen to music. And I haven't picked it back up again. It's not that it wasn't a good book. It's just that I have a lot of things going on distraction-wise, because now I'm looking at my phone and emails are popping in, Facebook messages are popping up, LinkedIn messages are popping up, Twitter messages. There's a lot going on. So sometimes we need to think about how do we cut through all of that and stand out so that our relationships matter to other people.
And the way you do that is, since you know that I'm a Disney fan, you send me free passes and airline tickets to go. We are stretching our 20-minute time here. So here's what I would love for you to do. If we can, I'd like to continue this conversation, because there's so much more I want to get into with your book. We haven't even touched on, I've got some notes here I really want to get into, and I think that the listeners and the viewers are really going to enjoy. So will you promise me you'll come back and we can talk about more of this?
Absolutely. And I love how you worded that. I will absolutely talk about more.
See, it's like we are so on the same wavelength. So Matt Ward, again, the name of the book is More Word of Mouth Referrals, Lifelong Customers and Raving Fans. You can get it on Amazon. Where else? Anyplace else?
Yeah, primarily Amazon. It's on ebook on Amazon and on paperback on Amazon.
And Kindle. I got the Kindle. So there you go. All right. Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you to the viewers. And we will have Matt back and talk more about this. Thank you so much.